Pushback! What does it mean and what has it got to do with slippers? Stay tuned to find out. Well, in aviation, pushback is termed as the procedure by which the aircraft is pushed from the gate into position for taxiing, generally with the use of specialized vehicles called pushcarts. Before we proceed, you might ask, why can't the aircraft just reverse itself out of the gate? And I shall answer that in just a moment. Anyways, there are a few things we need to consider to move the aircraft out of the gate. Firstly, we need power to push a heavy aircraft. Then, we need to make sure that the tires of the pusher does not slip on the concrete or bad things will happen. And we also need to make sure that the noise of the power source, that is the aircraft's engine in this case, does not disturb or annoy the passengers, the ones which are seated in the aircraft as well as those in the terminal. Also, we need to make sure that the building of the airport is not damaged by the power source, as using the engines in close proximity to the airport building will result in huge damages to the airport building. So, considering these situations, it is not a good idea to use the aircraft's engines to pull the aircraft out, mainly because of the unnecessary noise, the disturbance, and the enormously expensive fuel. Which is why it is ideal to use an external power source to back the aircraft from the gate onto the taxiway. Then we have pushcarts. There are two types of pushcarts or tugs. You have conventional tugs and tow barless tugs. Conventional pushcarts are basically tractors which are stupendously heavy and use a rod called the tow bar to connect to the aircraft's nose gear. Now, these tugs need to be heavy to make sure that the wheels of the tug do not slip on the slippery concrete. Thus, the weights can be very expensive. These tugs are the most common, but having a ton of tow bars, each for a different type of aircraft, is certainly not the best idea. Besides, these tugs need to be at least 54 tons in order to push a light aircraft. They also require a great deal of time to connect and disconnect tow bars. A much more efficient idea would be to use the aircraft's weight to create the required traction. This is exactly what tow barless tugs do. TBLs are gaining popularity by the day. Woohoo! These tugs lift the aircraft by the front landing gear and uses the aircraft's weight as traction boosters as they increase the grip between the tire and the floor. These are pretty much like slippers, although the slippers are pretty slippery. Try flinging one across the room. As soon as they are worn, the weight of the wearer pushes down to increase grip. And a tow bar is not required by the pushcart as it directly scoops up the nose gear using its hydraulically operated cradle. That is amazing to watch. Now remember, small private aircraft do not require a tug, therefore only commercial or cargo airports feature them. Now this was a pretty brief introduction to pushback and pushcarts. If you are interested, I would highly recommend visiting the Wikipedia article on pushback. That is a very detailed article and I shall leave a link to that in my description. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed or learned something new today, please consider pushing the little red rectangle right beneath the video that says subscribe. And so, I will see you next time.